In today's video, we're gonna have a look at a brand new Unkillable clan boss team, guys, that works on Nightmare, on Ultra Nightmare, on all affinities, and it features Emic Trunkheart, the new fusion champion. Of course, this will be together with Maneater, so we're gonna call this the Hearteater. You're gonna be able to pick 3 different DPS champions. It doesn't really matter what DPS champions you have available, as long as Emic and Maneater, they're in the same team. Now, this will be affinity friendly because Maneater will always use the A3 on the second AoE. Emic Trunkheart is not just a champion that does Unkillable. He actually resets the skills of the allies by 1 turn, which is kind of like combining a Sir Nicholas together with Painkeeper. That's basically what Emic Trunkheart is. And that's actually a pretty great thing because Maneater has the Unkillable on a 5-turn cooldown. That allows you to drop down the speeds on that Maneater from like 280, 290 that we used to run before, all the way down to like 250 speed, which makes a massive, massive difference. This champion will actually drop a decent amount of damage. I have him built on speed, I have him built on 1 retaliation set, 1 counterattack accessory, but we're gonna go over the builds, speeds, and everything towards the end of the video. Let me show you all the champions and everything that you need to know in the calculator, deadwoodjedi.com. We have Emic Trunkheart, Maneater, Ferokin the Fat, Fane, and Liburga. Now, Liburga can be replaced by a different champion. The reason why I've added Liburga, she's a Doom Tower champion, by the way, so everybody will eventually get the champion. She gives me increased attack next to poisons. She doesn't hit extremely hard or anything like that, but she's a pretty good champion. I like her. If you have a Brachus, you can use Brachus instead of Liburga and get the increased attack, get some extra damage. Maybe you have a Krela Witch Charm to replace Liburga. That's going to be even a better call because you're going to have double ally attack, increased attack, and other juicy buffs, plus Krela hits super hard. And of course, Ferokin can be replaced by a different champion. Fane can be replaced by a different champion. Dracomorph, Jintoro, all these champions are great options if you have the legendary champions, of course. Ninja is not going to work in this. Now, when we are talking about setting this team up on Ultra Nightmare, guys, we need to delay Maneater's A3 2 turns. Unfortunately, because of it, we cannot make this team full auto. It's extremely simple to set the team. You just click on auto, let it go, and right here on the first turn, second turn basically, you're gonna click on stop, use Maneater's A1 or A2, click auto, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. The team will just run smoothly from there. But I cannot change the AI on Maneater, unfortunately, and he's going to prioritize the A3 now. So very important to organize that. If we are talking about Nightmare, for example, so here you're just gonna have to do a bit of extra work than on Ultra Nightmare. So you're gonna have to delay, for example, Emic's A3 by 1 turn. That's not a problem. You can do that with a preset. But you're gonna have to delay Maneater's A3 for 3 turns. And basically, A1, 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 full auto. Very simple as well, just Maneater. It's very easy to set it up on Ultra Nightmare and on Nightmare, but unfortunately, just because of that little thing, it's not going to work on full auto, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. But that being said, let's head over, do a full run, see what damage we're getting, how long it's taking us to do the damage with this team, and then we're gonna go over the builds, masteries, and the rest of the things. Now, we've seen the team. Let me quickly show you the presets and everything else that you need to know. It's not a big deal when we are talking about the presets, but there are a couple of things that you want to ensure that you are doing. So on Emic, you want to prioritize the A3. On Maneater as well, you want to prioritize the A3, even though the AI will use it. Sometimes, for whatever reason, if Emic places the Unkillable, which will happen, Maneater decides not to place his Unkillable. He's like, yeah, we don't need to place that right now, so forget about it. Then, of course, you have Liburga. We're actually prioritizing the A2. Fane, we're prioritizing the A3. And we have Maneater prioritizing the A3. Now, the speeds that I currently have on are displayed at 244. Now, I am currently on the test server. I honestly can't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning. Hopefully I did. But basically, The live arena Great Hall features are not available 100% on the test server. I cannot display them when I'm actually going to the builds. So when I actually come to do the content, I am gaining the extra stats. And I do have one level on the speed for the regular clan boss. So that gives me 2 extra speed on all my champions. Right here you see I have Emic at 244 speed. Even though his true speed is actually 242 on the build. I had to take that in consideration. The speeds are very tight on some of these champions, especially if you want to make it work on Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare. So it's very important to be precise with the speeds. No room to go around up and down. Very, very important, right? And I just want to mention that just in case if you're wondering why I'm showing you different sort of stats at the end in terms of speeds. But the main speeds that matter is what is going to be in the calculator and what exactly I'm going to explain while we are going over the builds. Let's jump into a run and see what we can do with this team. So I'm going to show you how to set the team up. It's super easy, but unfortunately we cannot make it full auto, and it's honestly such a bummer, man. Such a bummer that we cannot make it happen. It's very, very annoying actually. Okay, so we took that off auto. Fane can do whatever you guys want her to do in here. What matters is to delay Maneater's A3 here. And you can use the A2 or the A1. Click on auto and forget about it, basically. That's what we need to do. Super simple to set it up. And it's the exact same thing on Nightmare. Just 1 extra turn delay on Maneater. 1 turn delay on Emic's A3 as well. And job done. As simple as this. And how you can see, the damage is not looking too bad. We are at around 1 million damage per turn. This will actually go higher once we're gonna start to drop more HP on the team. I do have a couple of champions on Fury. I think Fane and Ferrokin is on Fury, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, these champions, they have skills on a 4-turn cooldown, like Ferrokin's ally attack, Fane's A3 that lands the defense down and weaken. And because of Emic decreasing the cooldown of all of their skills, they will use all that on a 3-turn cooldown, allowing us to have pretty much all the debuffs up and running. Like the defense down and weaken will be up constantly on the boss. 3 out of 3 basically, unless we get resisted. The poison bar is pretty full, I would say, and the main thing is that Liburga gives us the increased attack. All these champions, except Emic, will deal damage based on attack. So that will be pretty important. Now, Liburga does land poison sensitivity as well. And on top of it, whenever she gets hit, she has a chance to increase the duration of poisons on the boss, which is pretty helpful when it happens. Now, it's not happening very often, but when it happens, is helpful. Emic himself does tend to smack pretty hard. 100k with the A1, around the same with the A2. With the A3, of course, he doesn't attack because he places the Unkillable, so don't expect anything crazy from there. But that's pretty much how the team works, guys. You see, Emic is constantly putting Unkillable on the very first AoE, while Maneater is covering for the second AoE and the stun, enabling this team to be affinity friendly. Spirit affinity or everything else. With the stun, again, you're not gonna have issues, and yeah, pretty much that's what we're getting out of it. Turn 14, 19 million damage, so the damage is just gonna ramp up. You've seen almost all the team actually counter the attack because of the masteries, or maybe counter attack accessories on some of them. But I'm gonna fast forward from here towards the end of the run, where we're gonna see the total damage, and we're gonna go over the builds, we're gonna go over masteries and everything else that you need to know. And here we are, guys, we are near the end, turn 49, and we reached almost 80 million damage. This team goes on a 1-to-1 ratio, so will be pretty fast, 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Emic, 10.2 million damage. Maneater, 11.6 million damage. Liburga, 21.6. Actually, she outdamaged Fane by 600k. Fane, 21 million damage. And we have Ferrokin at 15 million damage. Pretty impressive results, honestly. Now, I've done different teams in the past with Maneater and Warcaster, Maneater and Sir Nicholas. That was actually the very first Unkillable team I created. And that was almost 4 years ago when Maneater got out. That was the very first Unkillable team I've done, Maneater and Sir Nicholas. So all those teams, they were achieving fairly decent results. But out of everything, this gives you the best result for the simple fact that Emic decreases the cooldowns of all the skills by 1 turn, allowing all these champions to use the skills more often, and Maneater to be on slower speeds, allowing you to build more damage on him. Keep in mind, I do have blessings on 4 of the champions, even though they are not extremely impactful at the low stars that I have available on them. Every now and then they will drop in and bring in a bit of extra damage. If we're gonna go over the builds, let me quickly show you everything that we have right here. So Emic is built on 2 speed sets and 1 retaliation. Total stats, 75k HP. This is an HP based champion. We have a 2.6k defense, which is irrelevant. 242 speed. How I explained you before, I cannot select the area for clan boss. I have 2 speed extra from my live arena Great Hall. So the actual real speed that you need in order for this to work is 244. How you can see on the calculator, 244 guys. And if you're going too up, too high or anything like that, the team will not work as intended. This is still fine because Liburga will have Unkillable, but right here is gonna get messed up at the stun. So you cannot go over 244 speed. So keep that in mind. Maneater 256, Ferrokin 213, you have Fane at 177 and Liburga at 191. Those are the speeds, okay? Masteries, we have offense and defense. Nothing that increases the turn meter, nothing that decreases the cooldowns on Emic. You want to have offense, definitely get Grim Resolve because this is an Unkillable team. War Master, and you want to have a Retribution for all of them to counter attack when their HP drops. Then, moving over to the next champion, we have Maneater. He is built on triple speed sets. Total stats, we have 40k HP, 3.7k attack, 256 speed. That's the total how I showed you on the calculator. 100 crit rate, 215 crit damage. Masteries, identical like on Emic. Every single one of the champions will have identical masteries. Retribution, War Master, nothing that increases turn meter or anything like that. Ferrokin the Fat, we have him on a fatal and a double speed set. Total stats, 31k HP, 4.8k attack, 211 speed, full crit rate, 280 crit damage, 250 accuracy. One thing that I do want to mention, guys, if you are setting your team in the following way, and I'm talking about the DPS champions, Liburga, Fane, they can be built with 70% crit rate because Ferrokin places an increased crit rate buff and increased crit damage on all allies for 3 turns. And because of Emic, this skill will be on a 3-turn cooldown. So you're always going to be able to have increased crit rate and increased crit damage on your other allies. When we are talking about the DPS, not Maneater and not Emic because they are taking extra turns, so they will lose the buffs. But when we are talking about the other ones, you can build them with less crit rate, give them more damage, more attack, more crit damage, or the accuracy, or whatever you guys need to get on them. Masteries, identical like on the others. War Master, Retribution as tier 6. Then we have Fane. She's built on a Fury set. If you have a Fury, it's great because you're gonna get a bit of extra damage. The set recently got a bit of a buff, so it does increase your damage quite a bit. Total stats, 6k attack, 177 speed, 177. Remember the live arena Great Hall, which I cannot display on the test server. Full crit rate, 251 crit damage, 254 accuracy. How I mentioned, you can build her at 70% crit rate and keep the extra crit rate from Ferrokin. I don't tend to build champions like this because I am using them in different teams, so they won't be as efficient for my account generally, you know. But when you are building them for the purpose of clan boss, you can definitely do that. Masteries, again, identical with the other ones. War Master as tier 6, Retribution. I'm kind of like thinking, should I go on a Helm Smasher on Fane? This on a 3-turn cooldown? I don't think so. I don't think it will be more beneficial. And then we have Liburga, who is at 191 speed. No more, no less. If you have more speed, it's not going to work on Nightmare. If you have less speed, it's not going to work on Ultra Nightmare. So very, very important. She's on a Fury set and a Cruel. That explains why she kind of like out-damaged Fane. Total stats, 34k HP, 4.1k attack, 191 speed, 100 crit rate, 269 crit damage, 258 accuracy. Again, you can build her with 70% crit rate as well. Masteries, identical like on the other champions. Hopefully you found this video helpful, guys. Hopefully you're going to be able to make a new clan boss team if you are struggling with Ultra Nightmare. But there you go. If you're increasing the speed, if you're decreasing the speed only Burga for a Ultra Nightmare, that team will fail, you see. It's not going to work out anymore. If you're increasing the speed over 191 for Nightmare, it's not going to work anymore. So you need her exactly at 191, and that doesn't include speed sets or anything else like that. These are the speeds. I'll repeat them again: 256, 244, 213, 177, 191. Make sure you're respecting the speeds if you want the team to work. That was all for this video. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Stay tuned for the next clan boss guide featuring Emic Trunkheart and Warcaster. Peace.